Well, I've got Bailey's. I must be ready.
So have I in my new Tez mug.
That doesn't work now.
It does.
Not even a clink.
Well, there is a...
Oh.
Hi everyone! He's off again. I'm the SENsible SENCO, Abigail Hawkins from SENCO Solutions, and this is the third video in our Q&A around the SENCO role. And we only have one question today, which is...
Should all SENCOs get a TLR? Only because I'm being cheeky and trying to be a bit controversial.
Fair enough. Okay, so I think everybody who's watching this is probably going to know what a TLR is, but just because fancy patronising everyone, a TLR is a teaching and learning responsibility payment. So teachers in the UK, we have a fixed scale. So most schools will actually pay on that fixed scale. If you are an academy, they don't have to, but they usually do. It comes from the what we call the Burgundy Book. We've always called it the Burgundy Book, or the School Teachers Pay and Conditions, so STPC D, the document at the end. Mm-hmm. And that fixes your rate. So if you've been teaching 6 years, you're generally on M6, and that comes with a value attached to it. And you're saying to me, should a SENCO, because they are this qualified teacher who has had to take a master's level qualification in order to do that role, or has to take that qualification within 3 years of taking that role on, should they be paid additional for those additional responsibilities? And that's what a TLR payment is.
I would have just gone for because they're a superstar.
Well, there is that as well. A TLR payment is an additional payment on top of that. So you might get a TLR payment for being a head of department. You could get one for being a head of year in a large school. And again, they're on a moving scale, but generally speaking, you get them. And should a SENCO get that payment is really dependent on the school. It's dependent on a whole variety of factors that come into play, like the size of the school, the level of the role, and also whether that member of staff is on the SLT, so the senior leadership team. Because if they're on the SLT, they're actually on a different pay scale anyway, and it's considered to be a part of their responsibility of the SLT to take that little pocket of deal with the SEN.
So is that why a lot of the SLT team end up being the name SENCO?
Well, that's one reason. Might be one reason.
Save a bit of money.
Save a bit of money. It's not actually the reason why the SENCO should be on the SLT, though. So that's the flip side to that question. Okay. So should a SENCO be on the SLT? And the SEN Code of Practice says that actually they recommend a SENCO should be on the SLT.
Okay.
So whether the DFE were trying to save money in the first place, we don't really know. But they're saying we should be on the SLT because we need to have that power to make decisions, to voice what's going on for those students, and to almost have that a little bit of a louder voice, I suppose, within the school. What a lot of SENCOs tend to find is that they're not on the SLT and that they have somebody who is their voice on the SLT for them. Whether that voice is saying the same words they want them to say is a different matter. We could go into lots of little stories there, but I don't think we will. I wasn't on SLT, you know that.
I know that, yep.
But I was paid a TLR. However, there are a lot of SENCOs who are not on SLT and not paid a TLR. Some of them are paid what's called an SEN allowance. Just to confuse you.
So where did this SEN allowance come from?
So my way of understanding it, bearing in mind I've been a teacher for more years than I would like to consider, so over 25 years. When the SEN allowance came out and it was explained to me, I always understood it to be a payment that was made if your teaching load was significantly SEN. So if I taught in a special school, because that capacity and level of work that I am doing is more of a skill set than a mainstream teacher, I could expect an SEN payment for that, SEN1 or SEN2. Over the years, that's changed, and what I now see is that SENCOs are given an SEN payment because they deal with the SEN cohort. Ironically, SEN payments, believe it or not, are lower than TLRs.
Strange that.
Strange that. So it would be lovely if we had a nice fixed system. It would be lovely if the code of practice said, you're a SENCO, you must be on the SLT, you must be paid X amount per SEN student you have on your SEN register. Although that might be a bit of a perverse incentive to add students to your SEN register, I don't know. But it would be nice if we had that almost formula approach to it. But unfortunately we don't. So if I went back into a school now, I could apply to another school and take a job as a SENCO. I might just be paid my TLR. No additional payment.
Does seem a strange system.
It's a very strange system, and you are taking on far more of a role. I suppose the flip side of it is, I keep saying flip side, it must be the phrase of the day.
Well, at least you're not going to sew.
True, we've not done a lot of sows today, we must add a few in. Some SENCOs who get no payment at all. And very often you'll find that their schools have very few SEN pupils in them, but they're also not getting any time to do the role as well. And time is a whole video on its own right, I think.
I was going to start that, but I did realise it's a massive subject, so let's not go into that one
massive
today.
Subject. I think we need a bottle of Baileys, not a glass. You've got that cohort of SENCOs who are on the SEN payment. What you tend to find with those is that they are the ones that are delivering to a lot of high need students, or that they might have no timetable as such. They've not been timetabled year 2, for example, but they have to take out a lot of intervention groups and deal with those themselves.
Okay.
But it all boils down to money in schools, and it's the difference between a mainstream school and mainstream. It's the difference between a maintained school and an academy. Because academies, of course, can choose to do whatever they want to do. And we haven't addressed here international schools and independent schools, which are a different kettle of fish altogether. And special schools where they're not obliged to have a SENCO, ironically, because every teacher is their SENCO because of the needs of the children.
Okay. There you go. So, if you haven't got a TLR... So, if you haven't got a TLR, go and ask for one. Because that would be really good in your appraisal, to bring it up and say, the SENsible SENCO has told me I should have an TLR or an SEN payment. There you go. Just blame her.
Yeah, blame me.
Brilliant.
Go for it, blame me. Put my name down on it. Why not?
We'll get some standardisation somehow.
Hey?
It'll be standardised then, won't it?
Well, yeah.
If everybody got a payment, it'd be standardised.
The only problem with that is everybody would need to watch the videos. So recommend our videos. Watch, like, leave a comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, I still can't do that right.
No, I got it the wrong way around that way as well.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.